to obviously set things up for Sergio Henao.
It's the run in right now, just over this little incline, and we have indeed, I believe, lost. I almost daren't say it, but it looks like we've actually lost along the way Sebastian Reichenbach. I can't see him from I Am Cycling, so there we are. The ardours of the last couple of days clearly have had an impact. It's thinned down. I think we've lost about 5 or 6 riders. 11.2 kilometres then from home. And now a little bit of respite before we take on that final test. Let's talk about the run-in towards the line, Magnus.
Yeah, running towards the line is actually quite a difficult one. From about 3 kilometers out, you got a stretch of a kilometer with 8%, and then it levels out towards down towards 2.5% for the next kilometer, and then it kicks up. The average for the final kilometre is 3.6%, but that will have a slightly sort of steeper ramp in the middle of it as well. So it's not the most difficult of finishes, but it's certainly hard enough after all these climbs that we've done today and the intense racing that's been going on as well.
Very much so. The camera bike needs to just get clear.
Oh, bit of cyclocross there.
And let these guys do their thing. Absolutely. Just at the back there, that's Zoidl, by the way, from Trek Factory Racing, is just chasing on to stay with these guys. Still, those hoping for stage glory embedded within this group. David Formolo we haven't really mentioned that much about him from Team Cannondale Garmin, still very much involved.
Formolo is certainly very much involved. He did look like he was in a spot of bother there on the steeper sections, but you know, it's a relatively big group that's got over the top of that that hard climb, and I'm just waiting for this now really to start firing off. Is that that's Nieve again going?
It's Nieve once again. He tried this on the earlier incline, and he's decided that he's going to try and have some fun once more. It does just pitch and roll a little bit. We only really start the last 3 kilometers is where the climb itself to the line will take place, and even this descent does kick up on occasion, as you see.
Yeah, it certainly does. The problem here now is that Tiralongo was asking for help from all the other riders, and of course no one else has really got any riders there to ride with. So Nieve now chasing down Petr Vakoc from Ethics Quickstep, and that could be a dangerous duo for the final 10 kilometers here.
Certainly could. Vakoc no danger, but Nieve wants time on everybody else, so he's essentially pushing on to do his own thing, not being assisted by the camera bike, but others may well certainly claim that. Nice to see Kralek there from Giant Alpecin. He's just towards the back, looked very, very strong on that last incline. As well, we've got David Rebellin in here for CCC Sprandi Polkovici in the Tangerine.
Yeah, I have a feeling, though, that this is going to come down to that Bart de Klerk will now have to get on the front and start driving this one to bring back Mikael Nieve, because Nieve is only at 17 seconds on JC before today's stage, so he's posing a threat for the yellow jersey, and here comes Ben Hermans trying to get across to Nieve as well.
Well, it's all breaking down. Hermans only 9 seconds down as well, and the threat is being seen by de Klerk. Everyone else, or many of this very thin down group, are just staying on de Klerk's wheel, knowing that he's got to chase on. And I think it's Trek Factory Racing Zoidl that's actually set off for individual stage glory, maybe. If he can just nose to the front, he might be allowed to have some fun out there. BMC and Ben Hermans kicking on, doing a great push. This is Herman's bid for glory, as you can see. He's got to carry a gap potentially into tomorrow's time trial of 25Ks. It's about this descent, though, and how you take the curves. Let's have a look at them. It's a broken road surface today. A bit of a patchwork compared to some of the surface that we've actually dealt with earlier. But no doubt about it, Mike Nieve is doing a great job. He's got some real pace about him. And to be honest, after the couple of climbing days that we've had, I'm amazed he's managed to sustain such power, and he's delivering it. 7.8 kilometers to go, and in fact it's only the last 3 where we will be climbing. This, the final approach is, well, approaching. Out of the saddle, he kicks on. Herman's with him. I think it may well be between these two. Roger Kluger. There we are. It's Ben Hermans, not Roger Kluger, by the way. Just in case you were taken away or sideways by the graphic. There we are, thank you very much. So Hermans does bridge over, and it becomes a diamond duo. It's a powerful pairing.
It's a very powerful pairing, but where's Vakoc gone?
Well, he comes straight through Hermans and decides to go for it. 7.2 kilometres to go. Into the curves and doing their own thing and driving down. Real pace about them, and the motorcycle is having to play catch-up right now.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that these guys actually are the leaders on the road. I think we missed Vakoc coming back into it, and then Nieve actually counter-attacked on that one. So these two riders now going clear. Hermans doing a great job for himself. If he can get some distance between himself and Bart de Klerk, there's bonus seconds on offer, and obviously Herman's been a pretty handy time trialist as well tomorrow.
Yes, very much so. Nieve himself, they've got a real interest in sharing the duties right now, and it is Ben Hermans of BMC that's decided to go for it. There we are, some rather primitive looking haystacks there, or are they indeed old rocks? I'm not quite sure. These guys just have to refine themselves. This is the man in no man's land between them all. This is Zoidel, 2 minutes and 7 down, the man from Trek Factory Racing, and determined to at least narrow that margin to Bart de Klerk, who's leading on everybody else in the yellow jersey. It's essentially a bounce when we come to the bottom here. In 2K's time or so, we'll start climbing, and although it's not categorised, Magnus, 11.5% is what we've got to deal with.
Well, it's one kick up there at 11.5%. The average is about 8% for that kilometre. So, you know, it's a difficult start to the final climb, and that I think means that these two out here really are going to need a bit of time to a group down the back there that won't have had to work quite as hard. Obviously it's difficult here now because Paulo Tiralongo is going to have to do all the work, and I think that Bart de Klerk would have to start helping out to try and close these guys down, because otherwise he's just giving away the jersey.
Nieve and Hermans then, it's a very good duo with 5.1 kilometres to go. I know it's only 12 seconds back, but they've got some real power, and you saw what Hermans did on that last climb as well. Nieve likewise, and it's all over for Zoidel because of the push by Astana, who are going to get back at him.
Well, it's still Paulo Tiralongo who's doing what he's always done so good, working hard on the front for the team leaders, and Fabio Aru obviously must be up for this one today. He's gone Aguirre and Zakarin on the wheel there. Bart de Klerk trying to hide himself a bit, sitting behind Sergio Hanau, and just hoping that he's obviously going to have the legs to strike across and catch up with Hermans and Nieve.
20 seconds is what they've got, and that's a decent gap, to be honest. I know there's you're saying 4.6 kilometres to go. The strength that these guys showed, and particularly Nieve when he went on the attack 2 times, don't forget. Last couple of climbs, Nieve's really been up towards the pointy end. The chase is on. It's being led at the moment by Tiralongo from Astana. You can just look about 6 riders back. You see Fabio Aru, he's got almost the luxury of sitting on Bart de Klerk's wheel for the time being. It's starting to get there. David Rebellin is also in here from Spandi, wearing the tangerine. He's only 17 seconds down, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a very late push by the veteran Italian a little bit later on, although in a kilometre's time we're going to be climbing proper. It already looks like they are indeed.
Well, they're certainly going uphill already, and I mean, it's going to be a very, very difficult finish this to time and get right. Tiralongo can't stay on the front for too much longer. Not setting a high enough pace, but who's going to want to go out of this bunch and start attacking and going for it?
Is the big question. I
don't know, one, isn't it?
I'm thinking Zakarin might have a go. He's a big sort of lurching character, to be honest. I don't know whether he's got the sort of pace that Nieve can impose on an incline. We'll see.
Yeah, from what I've seen of Zakarin, he's a young rider, but really has got some big power on him.
Right now, just starting to labour. You can see Ben Hermans. What's the gap? Solid at 20 for now. And it's being held by Tiralongo on the chase as they come into this wooded section. little bit of a change of duty. Nieve comes through. I still feel that Niev's got a bit of drive about him, and Aru decides to go for it, and this is his attempt to leave everyone else behind. Just tagging on, as you can see from Movistar, is Izaguirre, and just behind him is, of course, Zakharin, the aforementioned. Now, he's got to deliver now, but the man who is doing exactly that is Aru. Still gets the drive in, doesn't look back, just needs to impose himself, and he is.
Yeah, just got on the 3 kilometer to go banner there, and Aru has decided to go launch out and try and do something. And after having had the Tiralongo do such a big turn on the front, he needed to do something, and he needs to find those seconds.
Kicks it again, just as they get back onto him, almost trying to break their hearts, but they've got plenty of that. The move by Aru means that these guys are within sight, and it says 14 seconds. It's nothing like that. The clock disappears, almost out of respect, I think, and quite right too. Ulissi for Lampre is also here, and so it's the same players, and now also trying to bridge over to his teammate. Great work here. He may well sail straight by, and Nieve will not be tempted to go with him. Here he is, opposite side of the road, and it is swap of duties, and then now takes it on, and this is a proper hit out on the steep section. This incline is just approaching the 11% maximum right now, and Aru tries his best to stay with him, just regathering himself. Ben Hermans, and that's the incline that we've got right now. He's just about to crest over the steepest part. In fact, he's done so right now. And the Flamme Rouge beckons for this man. Yeah, it's well, he's coming up to, I think, the 2 kilometer to go banner in just a short while, but good attack by Sergio now, and really put the rest of the guys under pressure. The question is, has he got the legs now to stay with this, though? Has he indeed? A man who's carrying an inflatable crocodile, joined by somebody in a stripy leopard outfit. There we go, and it's 2.5 kilometres. I don't think that's right. I think he's just about to hit the 2 to go banner. So once again, unfortunately, we've just missed out as far as the GPS is concerned. 200 metres out yesterday. We'll see how they go today. He's just got to grind it in and take it home. Can Aru get back to him? He's leading the chase. Well, Aru's having to do all the work. Izaguirre is also sitting there, and Mika Nieve is doing a fantastic ride today. He's really looking strong, following the front of the race. But de Klerk now in a little bit of trouble, although it's about to flatten out a bit. Riblon likewise from AG Tour Le Mondial, just weaving all over the side of the road, and this is it going to be about Sky. They said they were going to go for glory yesterday. It didn't happen. Maybe a day late. Certainly looks that way on the flatter section right now. The Flamme Rouge beckoning. He's been under the 2K banner, I believe, and some other fool with a flare. If you're not in distress, don't light one of those, especially in a cycle race. So there we are. He heads under the 2K to go banner. 300 metres out, I'm afraid, is our GPS for the time being. So he'll ride this one. It's a barriered section. Here comes Aru. Still hasn't given up the ghost. There's another kick just after the just after the 1 to go marker. It certainly is, and it is in a big gap. Not at all. I think the man sitting in the best position here right now is Ulissi. He seems to be following that. But de Klerk is in trouble. Zakharin is giving it everything he's got there, just in front of the yellow jersey. 1,500 metres to go. That's what the ticker says, but we'll wait until we see the Flamme Rouge with 1 to go. As this little marker, it flattens out for the Flamme Rouge and then kicks up again almost cruelly towards the line, but then it gets technical. We've got a few chops and turns, haven't we? Around about 7 seconds, I think, for 6-7 seconds for Sergio Henao in front of Fabio Aru and the rest of the guys there. Now it's Izaguirre who gets onto the front of the chasing group. Well, wouldn't be surprised to see Ulissi try and nip through and nick another second place in the extra bonus seconds for Lampre. He's only 4 seconds down, so that would essentially put him level with de Klerk. De Klerk's gone backwards. He's with the Zakharin group, just off this rather select group, just getting themselves back together. And Herman's just rejoining them, by the way. He's found his legs once more. 1,300 metres, it says. Flamme Rouge is beckoning, and then there's that little kick up. We remind you just after it, and then we come into town. I don't know whether to trust that gap is looking bigger now, and it's certainly looking a lot better for Sergio Henao. There we are. He's just out of sight as well. We said it got a little bit twisty late on, so you can get out of view, and that can be a heartbreaker. And it is Ulissi who flicks the elbow out, getting no assistance at all from Izagirre, who's also in this group. There's your Flamme Rouge right now, so they'll take the ticker out, I'm sure, as they all look at each other. Hermans has got back in, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a Rouge day. It looks like the Colombian and now has made this day his own, because these guys are starting to cat and mouse.
They're definitely playing cat and mouse there now, and it's going to be very difficult to get across this gap. It's quite a big gap now, and everyone's looking back, seeing who's coming where, and I think they just ought to focus on the rest, because Bart de Klerk is getting back in here as well. They're bringing David de Formolo back in, and Zakarin as well, so that's a dangerous move for tomorrow's time trial.
Here's that nasty little kick, the heartbreaker we were talking about. De Klerk is back in, Zakarin's there as well, and as you can see, also joining the fun is David de Formolo, who's only 6 seconds down from Garmin. Cannondale in the green and black. Izagirre tries to kick on and now holds on, I think, and this is a big push by Riblon in the brown and white as well. He's done a big bridge over. Formolo goes over the other side of the road. He wants to find something today. Only 6 seconds down, don't forget, at the top of the day. Can he find some bonus seconds? It looks like he certainly wants to. Ulissi's on his case though in the pink and blue. Meanwhile, and now just goes away, and Formolo realises he's got a man on his back and does not want to carry him to the line. There comes de Klerk also coming back into it. Final couple of curves for Enau. Sails round and he's heading for glory. And great work by Team Sky, and particularly by Enau. 16 seconds down. He's got 10 seconds bonus, plus he's got a bit of a gap here. He needs to carry this all the way to the line, but he's invoking the good Lord and says, yep, I've got the legs, and he's delivered. Fine win by him. There's the clock, so he takes a 10 seconds bonus plus an advantage of 6 seconds at the line. Ulissi once more comes through for second place, gets a 6 second bonus. Terrific work. Craddock also in there, and here we go. There's de Klerk, crosses the line, 15 seconds down. Good retrieval by him, comes home with Zakarin.
Yeah, it does come in there. That should mean that Bart de Klerk has actually lost the jersey.
There we are. It's all to play for tomorrow. We said this race was always a close affair. It's going to come down to the time trial.
Yeah, it certainly will do, but I think the man of the day for me was actually Mikel Nieve. He set everything up for Sergio Henao to do that final move, and that was a fantastic piece of teamwork.
6 seconds for Ulissi, who started off today 4 seconds down. I believe we have our leader, and it's the Italian. Craddock in third place ahead of Christophe Riblon. Fabio Roux making up the top 5 here. Nieve there did a great job for Sky as well, the Spaniard. Hermans, Izagirre, Formolo and de Klerk. This bodes very well for another good push for the Vuelta, and I imagine you're going to be seeing a lot more of it now, and indeed of Sky's Nieve along the way as well. Good work by Sky today, and they got the victory that they were hunting yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they did a great job today, and like I said, Mikel Nieve set everything up there for Sergio Henao. I thought that was a really good piece of riding by Nieve.
Super work then. We're just trying to do our own rudimentary maths, which is, believe me, very rudimentary. But we believe that Diego Ulissi is our leader right now. It depends on the declared gap. Oh, yeah, I didn't measure it. 8 seconds, I think it was, plus a 10-second bonus for Henao at the line. He was trailing by 16, so I still think it's Ulissi with a 6-second bonus at the line. That's a better position. Well, there we are. It's exactly right. Well, there we are. It was in the balance, and the balance goes to Henao. You'll have to forgive us for that one. Henao is the leader, exactly the same time as Ulissi. What about that? You know, he almost threw it away by his relaxed celebrations. We said the margins were tight.
Yeah.
Couldn't be tighter than that.
Not by an awful lot, no.
Henao leads then our race. Ulissi on exactly the same time. Bart de Klerk is 10 seconds off the pace, with Davide Formolo starting tomorrow's time trial 11 seconds down. Ben Hermans and the rest.